packing and unpacking. All right.
You want to go to Four Master,
What do you think? Go back down
or do you
there.
want to go to the place by
Field.
the freeway?
Uh, I think there's a lot of folks by Four Master. That in those tents. We could drive down there a little further and hand out a bunch of
Okay.
these bag food.
14 minutes away.
All right, cool. So yeah, is the audio better? It's funny. It's just the feed's acting crazy. Now the comments are, yeah, I'm restarting. So it should be, we should be back up. Let me check the phone real quick and see. Uh, Audio's fine now. All right, cool. Whoa. We're gonna check it on our end real fast, then we should be good to go. So if you guys would refresh, if or just send it out. Hey, and if you would share the feed. This is good stuff. We like I said in the preamble, we got a lot of stuff coming up. Check on our end real fast, then we should be. We're good. We're good. All right, cool. So we're back.
Back in black.
Nice. So the way it's gonna work out is we're gonna go ahead and head back to some of the places that we've hit over the last couple days, but we want to make sure we get to people with animals because, like I said, we picked up about 75 pounds worth of animal food that we want to make sure to hand out. We pre-bagged all that, so we've got these like the 1 gallon freezer bags. No, she's not in DC anymore. She's back in Maryland, so I'll be in DC with her. I don't know if she's actually going to be out there with me, but she probably uh, this next week for a couple days out in DC. So we'll see what happens there. Hey, Melanie, get feeling better. Uh, and hey, yeah, if you guys would keep sharing. I know we have, like I said, our DC coverage for a little bit earlier, 60,000 views. We've got like 10,000 here. These are just, I feel, is important. I mean, we want to know what's happening in our nation. Don't get me wrong, but it's always good to have a firm grasp on uh, the humanitarian side of life. You know what I mean? Oh, dude, I can't watch down
It's all
here.
right.
You gotta have to guide me in here, bud. Uh, One of the things that some
Spot me,
people are
Yui.
some
Right,
people are talking about,
right here.
and I don't think this is a U-turn spot.
Yeah,
You sure?
yeah.
Uh, okay.
It is now.
It is, and it is officially
Literally told me I'm have to turn here. So
a U-turn spot. All right. If we see a grocery store, I know we just passed by one of, or the CVS. Dang, there's a CVS right there. I kind of want to pop in and grab.
this way, CJ.
I know. I'm thinking about. I know folks last night were talking about. We'll grab one over here. Antacids, because people are having a lot of acid reflux, and that's just miserable, man. Like, I don't care what your condition is. Like, I mean, as far as life is concerned, what station you hold, when you've got massive acid reflux, that stuff is a nightmare. Like, you can't lay down, can't sit up. It just feels like your stomach's melting. Terrible. And you guys already know I pop Tums like they're going out of style. So Tums, if you guys are tuned in and you love us, go ahead and drop that sponsorship, brand partnership. We're good to go. We'll be Tum
Taking
TV
a right on the Salt Lake.
right on the Salt Lake. Right? But it's been cool. So earlier, if you guys saw the feed, or not the feed, but some of the posts that we put up, we were trying to go out and check out the Grand Canyon, and as planning would have it, we got going and didn't realize that we were losing an hour because we crossed from Nevada into Arizona. Didn't know the time zone was going to kick us into an hour later. So we got there what we thought was going to be with the last hour to get the last bus at sunset, catch a beautiful view of the Grand Canyon. Ended up being a closing. They like slid the window shut. And they're like, "Nope, you're done. Get lost, pal. Jump in a hole." So we ended up hitting the Hoover Dam on the way back, which was actually pretty cool. And I got a scary freaking picture. Like, if you guys see that, it may not look like much, but I'm sitting up on the edge of the dam, and my feet hanging off the side. And where am I going? Straight?
Yeah.
North to
Salt Lake.
North of Salt Lake?
Yeah, we're going to Salt Lake.
North to Salt Lake.
I told you Salt Lake earlier.
Towards Salt Lake. If we're heading fully that, there's a lot of different freeways in there. But yeah, Serena, Prilosec works great. I get you, but for what we're doing tonight, uh, we're not going to be able to give people like a lot of long-term fixes. Really, what we're trying to accomplish with this is not to solve homelessness. We're not trying to, be the solution. We're just trying to inspire and people to, maybe do something on their own in their own towns, and also just to give people a nudge of love. Let them know that they're thought of and cared about. It's a chance to step away from all the stuff that we've been covering and things we've been seeing. It's been amazing to just get away from hearing people screaming obscenities and hateful slurs at each other, which sucks. I mean, it's what's happening. Don't get me wrong, people are angry, but it wears on you. So this has been a great experience being out here. Teamed up with For the People by the People out of Bakersfield, California. Big shout out to John and the family. Everyone that's been a part of that. Yeah, Rachel, Shelley, Leche, and Little John. The hitters, heavy hitters out of Bakersfield, came over. Um, Adrian and his wife, and then we had you know the heavy hitters chapter here in Vegas that teamed up, and man, I gotta say these guys have been so cool, super cool. Vegas because we had resources here and um, people here. Honestly, I'm really. Someone asked about Vegas. Real fast though, I'll say this. So the heavy hitters, it was really cool that they jumped in and did their part because it's really just a good, loving group of people. And when you see, I'm gonna say this real quick, and if you guys are watching from the heavy hitters, appreciate them coming at you with love. When you see a group of like Dallas fans or Raiders fans, you do not think hugs and kisses. Immediately, you're like, well, I'm gonna keep my distance. Hey, I got you. We're gonna line this up. Beautiful things are gonna happen. We're gonna make some memories, have some laughs, touch some hearts, and so we've already had some incredible conversations, some hilarious conversations. If you guys tuned in on day one, so, but it's just it's not ongoing. This is something I'm looking forward to doing back home. Um, the We've got the opportunity back home now to do uh, the what's up, Holly? Uh, Little things that we can, with your own things you might have extras at home. But one of the things I'm going to start doing back in Seattle is like, dog food and cat food drives. And start doing as much of that as possible because we do see folks here that have animals, and we mention we have dog food or cat food. They're immediately they get really excited, like, oh man, I hadn't even thought about that. Because you figure that these animals are eating out, scraps, what they can get. And if you see some of the conditions, like the last couple of nights that some of these people are living in, you've got dogs that are basically eating out of like garbage piles, literally eating out of garbage piles. Not basically, that's exactly what it is. And I caught the Chiefs and the Saints, or not Chiefs and Saints, but I was watching
Browns and
the Browns game. But it was interesting. I want to see the Browns do okay. I wouldn't mind seeing. Interesting. But so back in your hometowns, that's something to think about doing. Like if you've got dog food, a big bag of dog food, uh, cat food, whatever you've got, animals at home. Maybe you aren't able to help out by donating money or like Mike just did, handed us $10, said, hey man, it's not a lot, but whatever you can do with it. Um, just bring a couple bags of dog food with you. And if you see that person out there panhandling or just trying to get a donation, kick them over something like that. That'd be helpful too. No reason for the animals to suffer while both parties are suffering. So we can do our best to help them out too. Um, Tampa Bay one, that's crazy. So, but Vegas, someone said why Vegas? And looking at Vegas as we've been here and experiencing it, like walking around after we've been done doing the handouts and everything and helping folks, um, it's so okay. You got a lot of folks that are relying on people's to be gracious and if you've got an abundance of things to hand out a little extra. So there's normally in Vegas a lot of people out here that are making their money, they're gambling, they come up and they're able to be a bit more generous with offerings. And there's just a lot of people here normally on the tourist side that come in, packing in. It's been dead empty. So now the one thing that doesn't change, the tourists may not be here, but the homeless folks are still here. And so the people that would typically be able to help on a regular basis, like the whole structure has changed. Like their support group, well, a lot of that left, and due to COVID, is just gone. So they don't really have that. And they were talking last night about the police even have been, super stringent on things and like moving them around and kind of hustling them out of different areas. Which again, you can't 100% fault the police. Maybe the way they do it and how they go about it and where they get things, where they move things to, but because we've seen some pretty atrocious acts by some of these sweeps that have happened, which I've seen them firsthand, and it's bad. It can be really bad because people lose everything in these sweeps, and they said that happened to them down here as well, where they had man, it was a banger of a car accident or something. I don't know. But they came through and they did a big sweep a little while ago, and they said the guy that I was talking to said we lost everything, like everything. And some of the things I didn't expect were the hardest things for them to get were um, uh,
We're gonna say going north.
north. Stay here. All right. Was the getting identification cards, like just an ID card, so they could get some of the basic services.
On the 15.
All right, cool, thank you. So the police are definitely here, but they get moved around a lot, so they get moved from place to place. Like they said that they've only been at this camp that they're at right now.
And then we're getting off up here on the right.
I'll let Brandon read the comments because I can't look at those and drive at the same time. I apologize, y'all. So, um, yeah, so Vegas has been a lot of industry. These are the things that COVID we look right that maybe look
D
nice. D
Street.
Street. We forget that there are folks like that are the transient community here that COVID has radically affected them as well. So that's it's difficult, man. Because it's not something that's straightforward addressed. It's just kind of
So you
those
know,
fringe things that's dealt with as it comes up type of thing. So, but the area we're going to here is down by Fremont and where we started, and there's people just sleeping all over the streets out here. Really just tough conditions, man. So what we're going to keep our eyes peeled for, Brandon, are people with animals and you know folks that we might be able to, if we find a grouping of folks where we can kind of help out. We got a couple hundred bags in the back of um, food, and we're gonna whip around the corner here because you guys under this bridge right here that we're at, like this is where a lot of folks sleep, try to stay out of the heat in the summer. But right now in the winter, keep in mind that yeah, we're in Vegas, but it gets cold at night here. It gets super cold. It's a desert, so there's not a lot of things to insulate. So
do you know where we are now?
yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to think of the best area to go to. Uh, hey, actually, you know what? Before we stop here, I want to grab some. I want to pop in and grab some bags of Tums and just like bag those up real quick. So I know that's where we're going to be going. It's right over here.
Yeah.
Did they come and sweep everybody out of there?
No, that wasn't it. I think further back.
No, that was it back there.
You want to go check it out?
Well, we will, but it looked like it might have been further down along the freeway line, like the overpass. But let's see if there's a drugstore up here real
It
quick.
is getting pretty late. It's almost 10:30.
It's getting pretty late for who?
I don't know if what time these people go to bed. So
I don't know the point you're trying to make.
people might be sleeping.
At 10:30?
Yeah.
I think we just saw everybody like walking the street back here, man.
Just, I don't know. We'll see.
So if you want to look on your phone for a drugstore, that'd be helpful.
Yup. Kind of drugstore.
CVS or something like that.
I'm gonna type in drugstore and like a weed shop's gonna pop up or something.
Which people forget that's considered an essential service now.
Um,
So they still are open 100%.
there's a CVS, Walgreens.
Whatever's closest. Or and open.
Um, that one's far away. My current location, please.
So last night, though, some of the things we were able to hand out last night that were really kind of like uncelebrated items that I didn't really think about were like we bought a bunch of packs of underwear, men's and women's in different sizes, and handed those all out. Socks were a big deal. A lot of people needed socks. Uh, we did hand sanitizer, baby wipes, toilet paper. Just really kind of tried to find things that the basic comforts, and not even comforts, man. Those are necessities. Like you need to have clean hands and a clean butt. You know what I mean? Sorry,
Walgreens on Fremont.
but
You want to find somewhere to do a U-turn?
sure. Okay. So those are things that people are gonna like,
Right.
which is it's tough because there's not really. I mean, these folks, even just us, I guess, paying customers going into stores. There's no bathrooms. People, they just don't have bathrooms available. Like COVID's got that all shut down too. So these guys got nowhere to use the facilities, and you got a lot of people. I mean, you can imagine like uh, the hazardous conditions that makes for the areas that they live in. So it's hard. The city knows they're there. The frustrating thing for me is that there's no dumpsters there. There's no, I mean, services. There's probably the camp that we're going to go to. If you guys didn't see it last night or the night before, there's got to be 75 people living in there. Just and there's tents. Just it's so third world looking. It's crazy. Like it really is. Um, it just they're just packed in there, and they've got their burn pits, and some people are just burning bags of plastic, and they're cooking their food on it, and or warming up water for a cup of coffee, or whatever, or soup. Saw some guy that was cooking soup, and he had a bunch of plastic bottles.
This be turning up right here.
He had a bunch of plastic on the freeway, plastic bottles that were melting, and he was like he was cooking his soup on top of a bunch of plastic water bottles. It's just like, oh my gosh, man. So we went through one of the things we were able to do yesterday. My guy Byron Lindsay, thank you so much, dude. It was amazing. We went through, and I mean, it's all going into it. We bought a bunch of firewood, and the money was able to cover the cost of the firewood there. We got a whole bed full of firewood, and found some folks on Facebook Marketplace. They helped us out with the deal. Went in, and it was great. They blessed us with a bunch of wood for a good deal, and we were able to hand out all of that wood, and it was wild to see. Like as we were handing it out, like the whole camp started getting a little bit more lit, and we realized that people were actually like, as we were handing out wood, starting fires all around and cooking food, just coming out of their tents and warming up because there's no electricity or anything. There's no, nothing to keep them warm. And we were handing out blankets with, some of the things that were folks had was like blankets, sweaters, so like I said, socks, beanies, scarves, gloves. So north or south?
We were supposed to go that way.
Oh, okay.
See north.
Well, we're not going that way now, sir. Uh,
Good.
we'll figure it out. And yeah, man. So Fremont was a trip, though, guys. After we got done with everything last night, Brandon, myself, John from For the People by the People, his two of his children, like hopped in with us, and we were like, all right, let's go get some food, and we'll walk down to Fremont. I'd never been to Fremont.
It was cool.
It was cool. It was packed too. Like, I mean, it was a trip to get there. And if you guys were watching the feed last night, at the end of the night, like, there's like the bars were popping, people were out dancing, like everyone's out just having a good time. The casinos in Vegas are all still open. Just stuff that I'm just like, all right, you would never assume that there's anything happening.
Just go that way, but we can't.
No, we cannot. We
It's
will
all
be
to
here
the
to
left
that.
of here.
So one of the places we were at last night, we might end up going down there again today. Is it's down the street here, and they've just got this line of tents that runs like as far as the eye can see, just snaking down the side of the road up against the fence line.
Just go straight.